Just a little note here about the reprinting in blue. The reason I do that is so that I can easily ink over the faint blue line, and then once I'm happy with the inking, I can just scan it in and key out the blue, and I'm just left with the black line. So it's just a nice, easy way of working, I find. If you're wondering about the kind of ink I'm using, it's Winsor & Newton black Indian ink. Although any brand of Indian ink will do. It's a great ink because it doesn't run with water. So once the inking's dry, you can add other colours on top, maybe watercolour or some kind of ink wash, and you can be sure that the line you've already laid down isn't going to run, which can happen with other kind of inks like Quink ink, for example. Sometimes that's, you want the ink to run, but in this case, when I'm laying the ink down, I really don't want it to go anywhere once I'm done with it. As I mentioned in the last video, when I'm drawing the pencil line and thinking about inking it, I do try and add as much guidance for myself as possible, but I'm not really the kind of artist that likes to ink every line exactly the way I've drawn it in pencil. So the chances are that I'm going to kind of add to what I've already put down in pencil, and as it occurs to me, I'll add additional lines and think about the kind of the amount of ink I want to put down to create the kind of 3 dimensions and shading. So I'm kind of doing it instinctively as I go. But I suppose if I wasn't that sure about how I wanted the lines to be, and I was kind of a bit worried about the inking stage, I might make sure that the pencil line is exactly how I wanted the inks to be, if I was worried about it. But I tend to just kind of go for it and, just kind of work around any mistakes that I make. When I'm filming myself drawing here, a lot of the time I'm cropping the frame so that we're focusing on the drawing itself and there's less things in the background. But I thought it would be kind of informative to put my laptop in this shot, or to keep it in rather, because you can see the photo I'm working from, which I'm kind of referencing from heavily to better inform the kind of landscape behind the girl holding the moon. So I'm really kind of using the details from the photograph just to kind of help me make a believable drawing. I don't have to stick to all the details that are in the photograph, but it just really helps to kind of inform what I'm doing. to the trouble of replacing the main character, having already spent a fair amount of time drawing and inking her. But it's just something that was playing on my mind. Looking at previous sketches, the character just didn't quite have the sense of harmony and the shape that I wanted, and so because it was bugging me and I kept thinking about it, I decided to replace her. And so it was more like a kind of instinctive feeling that I couldn't really ignore. Hopefully it does work better, but who really knows. Yes, this is one of the issues I have with a lot of my artwork, is to know when to stop, when the picture really is done. I suppose I do get carried away and I'm enjoying the process, and as I'm working I keep thinking of other things I could do. I keep having ideas and I think, oh, that would be great. But sometimes I really would be better off stopping before I do those things. Although I think in this case the owl was a good addition, but I'm glad I didn't do anything else after that.